Welcome back, everyone. I'm Trinity, and I'm your host for Farm to Foundation. Happy Friday! Today, we're going to talk about how this whole thing started and how we begun with the building process. So I wrote down a couple points that I could go over, and the first point that I wanted to talk about is the vision. A lot of people have asked us, what has made you decide to build such a big building? One of the big reasons that they wanted to upgrade their space is because they have 8 children. Some of them are getting older, some of them are young. They just wanted a bigger space to host everyone who wants to come back after they get married and move on in the next stages of life, but also it gives them a bigger space to host events, have family over, have friends over. It's just a big space where they can now have more people and fit more people. So basically, they just wanted a bigger space to be able to host people that they love. A lot of people ask, did you always plan for it to be this big? And the answer to that is yes. Pretty much when we started, we got plans written up right away. 3,000 square foot of the building is a barn, and it's big enough so that a semi can drive in and out, and it just gives them more storage. They have a lot of acres of land that they need to farm, so having more space to store equipment and stuff like that was a necessity for them. So 3,000 square foot is the barn, and then 6,000 square foot is the house, and it's 2 stories. We've been doing the majority of this build on our own, so I used an app called ArcSite on my iPad, and I just drew up the plans, and Jesse and I just went brainstorming. When we first started drawing the plans, it was kind of like a fun idea. So we just kind of put a lot of random things in there that we really like a movie theater room. But now we won't have a movie theater room in there. Instead, that room is going to be an awesome bunk bed room with a bunch of beds. We also had a storage supply closet for games, but we took that out and put a door to go straight from the upstairs into the barn. We also had to rearrange some closets that we first drew in. Even though we took out some really fun ideas, we also kept in some really great ideas too. Like there's a workout gym downstairs, there's a golf simulator that we're going to try to do ourselves, and then there's a little area, like a little nook, that you could use for a desk, yeah, but we're going to use it for a ping pong table and pool table. So this is just a fun space for all the kids to hang out and have a great time, but it's also really great because there's 4 bedrooms upstairs, as well as a very big living room downstairs so that you can have big gatherings. A lot of people have asked, are you guys actually doing this on your own? And the short answer is yes and no. Yes, we're doing pretty much the whole building process on our own, but we have had a little help from professionals on the way. For example, the big slabs of concrete that we had a concrete company do that so that it would be all smooth. We also have a close family friend who is doing all the electricity work and making sure that we have it all good. We're wiring most of it, but he's helping with all the very confusing, complicated parts, like the box, and it is great to have that help. We will also be having help for other things down the road. I just don't know which parts we're going to have help with. I think we're going to have help with the drywall, but we're going to do all the other things by ourselves. So I'll keep you updated on what we do and don't do. But a lot of this stuff we're trying to, if we can do, we will do. We made most of the trusses. The only trusses we bought were the special made one for the golfing simulator. They're a little bit higher than the rest of the ceiling. And of course, we've had a bunch of friends help us out with this build over Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, summer break. They have been so gracious and willing to help us, so we really appreciate that too. And one of the moments when I thought, oh my gosh, we're actually building this building, is when we tore down 2 existing buildings to build this one. There was a little carport building made out of wood, and there was another little barn that we tore down, and then we also moved a grain bin silo thing. There's also the basic questions of how did you find the land or decide where to put it? Well, this house is right next to their current house, so it's kind of like an add-on, but it's a completely separate building. So it was pretty easy finding the space. We just had to tear down those buildings, but I think it's a great location where we put it so that everyone could be right by each other, and it's still right on their land. Jesse and his grandpa have been the minds behind this whole build. They are so smart and they are a great team. They know a lot about building. Jesse learned everything that he knows from his grandpa, so it's really great that his grandpa has come out Every day that we work on it, he's out there. He works so hard, and we really appreciate his help too. Some early obstacles that we had faced are like with weather. Trying to pour concrete, you can't pour concrete in the freezing weather, and we really needed to pour concrete to continue other things, and it was in the winter time, so we had a little bit of trouble trying to find a good time to pour concrete, so that was an early obstacle for sure. Honestly, every step forward we've made with this building process, it is so crazy seeing the progress. Every time we add another wall or we add another window, I'm like, wow, this is actually coming together. One of the main things that have made me realize that this building is a building is when we finished all the siding, and it just seems like one huge building, and it looks so awesome with all the siding on. It just feels so real. But yeah, with every step, with the roof, that was a big one where I'm like, wow, this is a building. But kind of back to what we've been doing ourselves, I find it really impressive that we've been able to watch videos or use existing knowledge to build pretty much this whole house. We've done the walls, the radiant floor heating, we built the trusses, the headers. The headers are huge, and we built them on our own. We built the posts, we poured the concrete that holds the posts. We built the brackets. Like, we have done everything that we can do ourselves, we've done. And it has saved a lot of money. Which is why, again, I just want to thank all the people who have helped us, all of our friends. It is so appreciated. We have worked so many hours together, and his brothers have put in a lot of work too. So far, one of the major challenges we've had is the plumbing. As you may have seen on our videos we posted, we accidentally put a T on its back, which in plumbing is a no-no. Plumbing is something we knew nothing about, and I'm so glad and thankful for social media because you guys saved our plumbing, okay? Which is crazy, but it's kind of a funny story. So I made a video showing our plumbing just for fun, and so many people commented, you can't have a T on its back, you can't have a T on its back. And eventually I was like, a lot of people are saying this. I'm going to tell Jesse. I told Jesse, and he did some research on it. You guys are right. Of course, I never doubted you, but you guys are right. And we went back and had to fix all the T's that we put on their back, and it was a lot. Now we have 90s. And we found out the reason for the T on its back, if you don't know about plumbing, is, if you have your tube, the poop will just go right down the tube and just splat on the bottom and not continue because it's just a T and it doesn't help it curve and go down. So then eventually you just get a pile up and it'll be gross, or just a pile up everywhere. It's just nasty, and you don't want to have a T on its back in plumbing. So now we have 90s where it just goes right with the flow and goes right down where it needs to go. So don't put a T on its back. Thank you guys for helping us out with that. But that was a major challenging, having to fix everything. But it is better to fix it in that process than having to go back later once it stinks and fix it all. So thank you guys for that. You saved our noses. I asked Jesse what one of the hardest things on this build has been so far, and he said it is putting the metal siding around the windows. You have to get it so exact and have it fit exactly like a puzzle piece, but it is hard to get it to fit even when it's exact. So being able to do that has been pretty hard, but they're getting there, and it looks really great, so I'm glad that they put in all the hard work that they have. And our favorite part of the process is just seeing it all come together with everything that we do. It just slowly is coming together, and that makes us so proud. And I cannot say this enough, but everyone who has helped us, that has really just made this building process a lot easier, especially for me. Those videos where you see, no one trusts you more than your husband who's trying to get you to lift 300 pounds. He has trusted me with way more than I should be trusted with. I know way too much about building now, but it really helps when we get some people who know what they're doing on the job. So thank you for all of your help. So yeah, we started this as just an idea that, hey, we need more space. Now, how can we utilize a building with more space and make it great? You too can build anything from the ground up. If you have any more specific questions, I would love to answer them. Please comment down below. any questions you have. Any. Next week, I'm going to talk about our future steps and where we're at now, just so that you guys can get a gauge on where we're at, because this episode we talked about how we started. Now we're going to talk about where we are and where we're going. Okay, now it's time for farm fact or fiction. Pigs can't look up at the sky. Is that fact or fiction? That is fact. Their neck muscles don't allow them to tilt their head all the way up to look at the sky, so they never get to stargaze. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you have an amazing week. Happy Friday. I'll see you next week.